All right, got a quick bedtime story for you guys tonight. And this one, you cannot make this up. This one is entitled, My Mother Walked Out on Me When I Was 16 Years Old and Moved In with Three Hot College Guys. And I never blamed her, from what her daughter says. And tonight we have Cash helping out here. Say hello, Cash. Say hello. He's usually snoring in the background, but tonight he's going to take part in tonight's bedtime story. So let's go on with this. I mean, you cannot make this stuff up. This is just ridiculous. This mom, like most modern women today, thanks to the feminist movement, walked out on her family, her husband, her 16-year-old daughter, the family dog, so that she can move in with three hot college guys right next door to their house. Okay, right next door to their house. So basically, her husband and daughter could witness her debauchery for the remainder of their days, as long as they live there. But this is just pure selfishness on every level. Okay, this is just pure selfishness, pure narcissism, lack of empathy, and complete self-centeredness, and no shame whatsoever. I mean, if you can you imagine a guy doing this to his family? He would be all over the news. This guy would be hung in the middle of Times Square. So let's jump into this story here. It's by Diane Simmons. She says her mother walked out when she was 16, moved in with three hot college guys, and she never blamed her. Never held her accountable. So you are basically an enabler to your narcissistic mother, Diane. You're basically an enabler, not holding her accountable and not telling her that what you are doing, mom, is wrong. Okay, your behavior is immoral, unethical, and very, very obviously self-centered. So let's read her story here. My mom left our family when I was 16 years old and moved next door to us. I speak on motherly abandonment in my new memoir, My Mother Next Door. My mom was a headstrong, independent woman. Tells me all you need to know, right? Headstrong, independent woman leaves her family, leaves her child and the family dog to move in with three hot college guys. Yeah, so headstrong, so independent. That's, what is that code word now for 304? Independent woman who felt like she was dying in her suburban life. Just as the feminist movement, there we go, just as the feminine movement was rising in the early revolutionary 1970s, London, she undertook, well, it was happening here too, sweetie. She undertook her first trailblazing move, walking out on me and my father when I turned 16 in order to move directly next door and live with three hot college guys. Not one, not two, but three, who were all banging her mom, as her father and her and the family dog lived right next door and had to witness this horrendous act by her narcissistic mother. A week after my 16th birthday, my mother cornered me in the kitchen. So right after her birthday, her mom corners her in the kitchen and said, I've given you and your father 16 years of my life, and you are old enough to take care of the dog, your father, and yourself. Actually, the dog arrived when I was 8, but that's 56 years in dog's life, so she clearly loved the dog more. No, you know who she loved more? Herself. She loved herself, and that is who she only loves, as most modern women do. They only love and care about themselves. If you look at most modern women's actions today and most modern women's behavioral traits, you will see that they line up verbatim with the symptoms of a classic narcissist. Okay, and I've done this before, and you could look for yourself. Even if you Google it yourself, you will see narcissistic personality disorder symptoms include an excessive need for admiration, disregard for other people's feelings, and inability to handle any type of criticism, and a grandiosity sense of entitlement. And you could look further if you want to deep further on symptoms of narcissist. Says right here: grandiosity, exaggerated sense of self-importance, excessive need for admiration, superficial and exploitative relationships, lack of empathy, identity disturbance, difficulty with attachment and dependency, chronic feelings of emptiness and boredom, vulnerability to life transitions, and we could go on and on. But this is essentially the symptoms of most modern women today. So, not surprised at all. Okay, let's go on with her story. I was caught in a ball of confusion and hurt, split down the middle as I teetered between the convenience of being her next door neighbor and the inconvenience of witnessing her unapologetic abandonment each time I exited my home. So she had to see this visual abuse playing out right before her eyes, and so did her dad, and so did the family dog. Family dog probably was like, "Hey, where's mom? Where's mom going? Why is she going into that house with the frat boys?" I found ways to cope. I coped by compartmentalizing my life, friendships, school, mom's new independent life. No, mom's hoey. Mom going through her new hoe phase life. Mom's new independent hoe phase life, and home life with dad. My best friend's family's home became my refuge, along with my friends at school. Too bad your dad couldn't escape this. You don't mention him once so far. They normalized my teenage life, lifted my spirits, and never questioned nor shamed me. Forming independent bonds with my older siblings gave me a sense of family and helped me navigate my parents. You mean navigate your mom? Because your dad stayed, honey. So why don't you give him some credit here? Your father stayed and he put up with this crap show playing out right in front of him. Don't lump him in with your mom. Don't conflate his loyal, uh, actions toward your family with your mother's disloyal actions toward your family. They normalized my teenage life, lifted my spirits, and never questioned nor shamed me. Forming independent bonds with my older siblings gave me a sense of family and helped me navigate my parents. Ultimately, music, primarily Diana Ross, and dance were always and will always be my salvation. A way to express myself, release the remnants of pain and stress, and feel joy in the madness. I never blamed her for what she did. You should. You should. Stop being an enabler, all right? You should not enable narcissists, okay? All of you people, do not enable narcissists. I have some in my own family, and I don't enable them, right? I hold them accountable, and guess what? They hate me for it, as any narcissist would, because they don't want people holding them accountable. They want people to cheerlead for them, to whip out their mental pom poms and cheerlead for them. But that is not something that a healthy, sane adult does, right? I always say, be the change that you want to see in the world. You want to see less narcissists out there, people acting less narcissistic, especially these modern women, especially these divorced moms who move next door with three frat guys. Don't enable. I never blamed her for what she did. I never blamed my mother for leaving or her actions thereafter. I never held her accountable for her narcissism. She just literally said what I said previously before I even got to this part of the article. She said I never held her accountable for her narcissism. That's your problem. You're encouraging her behavior. It wasn't until a few years before she died, so her mom's not even around anymore. It wasn't until a few years before she died that I found myself at a breaking point from the last torrent of her maternal wrath. I saw a therapist who told me what your mother did was wrong. What she expected of you as a 16-year-old was not normal, and you don't need to make excuses for her anymore. She left you a child to handle it on your own. Wow, first piece of good advice from a therapist. Usually they're complete enablers. She freed me of any shame and validated my new chosen path. My childhood shaped the person I am today. I learned to listen to both sides of a story, as you should, to have an open mind so I could navigate and flourish in the pure absurdity and beauty of life and people, while finally understanding that I can't fix everything and the importance of setting boundaries. Ultimately, our mothers are imperfect. But for all the pain mine caused, she also gave me the gifts of courage and acceptance. Not sure how she did that, but okay. I've always believed that I chose to be born to my mother so she could toughen me up for the world while encouraging me to think not just outside the box, but way beyond it. I pass this down to my own children. What essentially are you passing down to your own children? The fact that it's okay to walk out on your father, the family dog, and your 16-year-old child to live out your sick sexual fantasies of living with three frat boys who are just going to use you like a plastic, a plastic sex doll. Uh, yeah, so I don't get where she's going here. Breaking the cycle of a toxic mother-daughter relationship is possible, but first you may have to look at the story from your mother's point of view, and then hopefully you'll find a greater capacity for compassion, love, and forgiveness. So I do agree with her. You should look at the story from the other person's point of view also. I mean, that's what's called not being a narcissist, right? Because that is something narcissists can't do. They cannot see another person's point of view. They can't empathize with the other person's feelings because, unless it helps fulfill their own narrative, right? They can't. And this is, so I agree with her on that point, just being able to see the other person's point of view, because as they say, in order to be understood, you must, what is it? You must first understand, right, the other person's point of view, essentially. I'm butchering that a bit, I know. But she says, and then hopefully you'll find a greater capacity for compassion, love, and forgiveness. You can forgive your mother, but I think that's where the buck stops, at least for me as a man. Women are a lot more emotional creatures, so they have to bring love and compassion and everything else into this. But as a guy, the best I could do as a man of faith is forgive, but I'm not going to forget. And again, the buck stops there. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's pretty traumatizing for a family member to do something like that to you. It's pretty traumatizing for that person to be your mother, to just abandon you, especially to do something as selfish as moving right next door, where you're going to witness this growing up and seeing what she's done and seeing this play out, knowing what's going on over there, and maybe even hearing like lots of rumors and neighbors talking about your mom, and word getting out. It's embarrassing, right? Kids at school, man, kids are ruthless, man. They'll use this against you. They'll be like, oh man, her mom's going next door, ha ha. You will become the butt of their jokes. And you know what? As a parent, um, you know, she should be more responsible than that. And this is why you should only have kids if you are willing to take on that responsibility and you're willing to take on that leadership role. Otherwise, don't do it. If you're a narc and you're like this chick's mother who's just all about you and your needs only, and screw everybody else, I live for me, do what I gotta do me, and you do that Jada Pinkett, um, horse manure, put it lightly. You take on that attitude, God help you. God help you. But as always, guys, drop your comments below. Let me know what you think of tonight's story about this chick's mom leaving her when she was 16, her father, and the family dog to move literally right next door with these college guys. And let me know what you think about that. And if you would forgive your mom and have compassion and love for her if she did the same to you, or if you've had a similar experience where you had a single mom who was doing stuff like this. Let me know your experiences below. Any ideas you want to share in the comments below, please feel free to share. I always love to read your comments. Always love to see you guys in my comments. Always very entertaining. So definitely drop those comments below. And as always, guys, make sure that you like and subscribe to the 33 Secrets. Make sure you definitely hit that like button. Also hit the notification bell as well so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my YouTube channel. And obviously for you guys who want to support my work and everything I'm doing here and everything you're learning from me, the best way to do that is by jumping into my monthly online coaching program, 7 Months of Mastery, where I'm teaching guys just like you how to go out there and approach and close the youngest, hottest, and most high caliber, most beautiful looking women on the planet. I'm talking about 8s, 9s, and 10s, not these type of damaged females that are out there in the world, no matter what the age they are. We don't go after those types. I teach you guys how to avoid them and how to spot them and how to keep them out of your lives so you can focus on the high caliber women and you don't waste your life like many guys out there hooking up with these girls, marrying these girls, impregnating these girls, and ruining your lives, right? And right now, Mastery is only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons. And you don't know how many guys out there who have ruined their lives, wish they could just turn back the clock and have found my YouTube channel, had got into 7 Months of Mastery, and had not ruined their lives and hooked up with a more high caliber female, right? Particularly under the age of 30, obviously, right? And most of my students are getting these girls in their late teens, early 20s. My girlfriend, myself, is 20 years old. So I live it, I breathe it, I teach it, right? I'm not just some talking head on YouTube. I'm not just speaking behind a microphone and all this other stuff. I actually live and breathe this stuff. I teach this stuff. I'm one of the best pickup artists in the world, one of the top 10 pickup artists in the world, one of the best in the world. So you're going to be learning from the best. So take advantage of it. And again, it's only $1 for the entire first month of coaching lessons from me. It's the absolute best way to support my work. And it's really easy to get signed up. So just click that link below in my description box. It will take you over to my website where you can get signed up right now. Just takes 2 seconds. So do that now, and I will see you in my next coaching video. Say goodnight, Cash. So we're out. Me and Cash are out. Until next time.